Good morning students. I hope you are all doing good. Let us see what we are going to discuss in today's class. Good morning students. In previous class we have seen the definitions of heat capacity, specific heat, molar heat capacity. What is the heat capacity definition? The amount of heat energy raised for 1 degree C rise. The amount of heat energy raised for 1 degree C rise in temperature. If you increase 1 degree C rise in temperature, for that internal energy of the energy of the body is increased by how much extent? The amount of heat energy raised for system for 1 degree C rise in temperature is called heat capacity. Heat capacity C is equal to Q by delta T. Like that we have seen for specific heat definition also. The heat required to raise the temperature of 1 gram of system by 1 degree is called specific heat. And molar heat capacity, the heat required to raise the temperature of 1 mole of substance by 1 degree. This is 1 mole of substance, this is 1 gram of substance system. Okay, it's called molar heat capacity. And I told that Cp and Cv also. Cp is nothing but heat capacity at constant pressure. Cv is nothing but heat capacity at constant volume. And in today's class we will see what about the relation between Cp and Cv. Before going to the relation between Cp and Cv, first we have to know what is that Cp and Cv relation with delta H and delta U. See first all of you, we know that C is equal to Q by delta T. This one, C is equal to Q by delta T. Q is equal to C into delta T. Q is nothing but heat energy. Now let us consider Qp is equal to heat energy at constant pressure. Qp is equal to heat energy at constant pressure. Okay, na? This implies, substitute in this formula, Qp is equal to Cp into delta T. When we have taken heat energy at constant pressure Qp, C also at constant pressure only. C at constant pressure is called heat capacity at constant pressure, Cp. When we take Q at constant pressure, then we can consider C at also constant pressure. So heat capacity at constant pressure is called Cp. So I wrote instead of C, I wrote Cp. Qp is equal to Cp into delta T. Once again I am writing here. Is it okay, ma'am? Same like that, Q is equal to C into delta T. Now Qb is equal to, this is equation 1 I am giving, heat energy at constant volume. QV is equal to heat energy at constant volume. This implies, substitute here, QV is equal to CV into delta T. This is equation 2. QP is equal to CB into delta T. QV is equal to CV into delta T. But we know that QP is equal to delta H. Change in heat energy at constant pressure is called delta H, comma, QV is equal to delta U. Change in heat energy at constant volume is called delta U. Substitute these values in equation 1 and equation 2. This implies equation 1 becomes delta H is equal to Cp into delta T. Equation 2 becomes delta U is equal to Cv into delta T. Already we know that delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. This one previously itself we know delta H is equal to delta U plus P delta V. What is delta H here? Cp into delta T. What is delta U here? Cv into delta T plus P delta V. Okay ma? Next, we know that PV is equal to nRT. For 1 mole of gas, N is equal to 1. Here N is nothing but number of moles, man. Okay, directly I am taking that for 1 mole of gas, N is equal to 1. Then this implies PV is equal to RT. P into delta V is equal to R into delta T. P into delta V is equal to R into delta T. Substitute this one here. Instead of P delta V, we can write R delta T. So this implies Cp into delta T is equal to Cv into delta T plus R into delta T. Cp into delta T is equal to, here delta T is common, Cv plus R. Delta T got cancelled. This implies Cp is equal to Cv plus R. Cp minus Cv is equal to R. This is the relation between Cp and Cv, where Cp is called heat capacity at constant pressure, Cv is called heat capacity at constant volume. But we know that Qp is nothing but delta H, QV is nothing but, QV is nothing but delta U. From that only we got this relation Cp minus Cv is equal to R. I hope you are clear about this derivation, ma. So final relation between Cp and Cv is Cp minus Cv is equal to R. Okay, now one more time definitions, let us see. Heat capacity C is equal to Q by delta T. Heat capacity C is equal to Q by delta T. Molar heat capacity Cm is equal to Q by N into delta T. N is called number of moles. For 1 mole means you will get in denominator N. Molar heat capacity Cm is equal to Q by N into delta T. Next, specific heat. Specific heat C is equal to, this is small c. Specific heat small c, this is capital C, this is capital Cm. Okay. Specific heat C is equal to Q by M into delta T, where M is mass of the gas, mass of the substance. M is equal to mass of the substance. Heat capacity, these are the formulae you have to remember, ma. Heat capacity C is equal to Q by delta T. Molar heat capacity Cm is equal to Q by N into delta T. Specific heat C is equal to Q by M into delta T. Okay, this is about heat capacity, specific heat, molar heat capacity, and Cp and Cv relation also. What is the relation between Cp and Cv? Cp minus Cv is equal to R, that we have derived in this class. Okay, after this we have to go through our next slide heading, measurements of internal energy. Measurements of internal energy. See carefully, all of you. Delta U measurement. See. We are going to measure delta U in an equipment called bomb calorimeter. Delta U is nothing but change in internal energy at constant volume. Okay, see. For chemical reactions, heat absorbed at constant volume is measured in a bomb calorimeter. Whenever you have seen delta U, that is the heat energy of the system at constant volume. Change in heat content of the system, change in internal energy of the system at constant volume. So, for chemical reactions, heat absorbed at constant volume is measured in a bomb calorimeter. That equipment name is bomb calorimeter. Next, here a steel vessel, the bomb, that name of steel vessel is bomb, is immersed in a water bath. The whole device is called calorimeter. That's why that is called bomb calorimeter. The steel vessel is immersed in water bath to ensure that no heat is lost to the surroundings. Here no heat must be lost to the surroundings. If it is lost to the surroundings, we cannot find the internal energy clearly, accurately. Okay, the steel vessel is immersed in water bath to ensure that no heat is lost to the surroundings. A combustible substance is just 1 second, Masi here. This is steel vessel, which is called bomb. total equipment is called calorimeter. That's why that is called bomb calorimeter. Okay. The steel vessel is immersed in water. This is called surrounding. This is surroundings. The total system is under consideration. Okay, so this is fully called system. Surroundings, these are all. Okay, ma. This is thermometer. This is oxygen inlet. Firing leads. Thermometer. This is stirrer. For which thing we are going to find the delta U, that sample is here. You will understand, ma. I will explain. Okay. This is steel vessel, that is bomb. Observe the parts carefully. Now let us see. Here a steel vessel is immersed in a water bath. The whole device is called calorimeter. The steel device is immersed in water bath to ensure that no heat is lost to the surroundings. That means we should not give a chance for the heat energy to exchange with surroundings. Okay. A combustible substance is burnt in pure dioxin supplied in the steel bomb. Heat evolved during the reaction is transferred to the water around the bomb and its temperature is monitored. Since the bomb calorimeter is sealed, its volume does not change. That is, the energy changes associated with reactions are measured at constant volume. Under these conditions, no work is done. Okay, see here, ma. You will understand clearly. These are made with metal. They are going to touch the given sample. One more time. This, whatever I am pointing out, that is called sample, for which we are going to find delta U. This is combustible substance. Okay, ma? That is in touch with this firing lid. And this is closed in steel vessel. Na? Through this inlet, oxygen gas will be supplied into the container, into the steel vessel. So oxygen under pressure, it is filled with oxygen because for combustion, oxygen is required. Without oxygen, there is no chance of combustion reaction to be taken place. Are you understanding, ma? So for combustion, definitely oxygen must be required. That's why this is inlet. Through this inlet, they are sending the oxygen at high pressure. In the presence of this oxygen, what is going to be happen? Let us see. Before that, into the water, we dip the stirrer for constant mixing, ma. Next, into the water, we are dipping this thermometer. Now, what is going to be happen? We will give electrical energy or by using different energy, ma. These rods are getting fired. These rods are getting heat energy. That heat energy will be supplied to sample. That heat energy will be supplied to sample. By catching that heat energy, that sample will undergo combustion reaction. That sample will undergo combustion reaction in presence of oxygen. That sample will undergo combustion reaction in presence of oxygen. At that time, it is undergoing combustion reaction. Okay, it is going to release energy. That energy is transferred through steel vessel into water. Heat energy is transferred into water. Previously, water is at low temperature. At once, if the sample is combusted, that energy of that sample is entirely supplied to water only. Because we are not giving chance for this container to liberate energy to surroundings. Is it correct or not? So total amount of energy which is liberated by that substance is kept in water only by making this insulation. These walls are made with insulation. There is no exchange of heat energy. I hope you are understanding, ma. So the energy liberated by this sample is entirely absorbed by water only. There is no exchange of heat energy to surroundings na, so this exchange of heat energy is cancelled, not there. Okay, so it will be absorbed by water. Constant stirring makes that heat energy is supplied equally to water. Stirring is making that heat energy to be supplied to water equally. Then what happened to temperature? Temperature is increased in thermometer. This is initial value. Let us consider. After heat energy is supplied up to here, it is increased. Then the difference in values we will come to know. That is called delta T. The difference in values, initial temperature T1, final temperature T2. Why temperature is raised? Because energy is absorbed by water molecules. Na? That water energy is raised. That energy is obtained from sample. So whatever the change in temperature we are able to see, that change in temperature is because of sample combustion only. Here the change in temperature we are going to see, that is because of sample combustion only. So that sample combustion is going to release the energy to the water. Because of that, water energy is getting increased. That is showing in the form of temperature. Is it clear? This is totally closed container. So we are not giving chance to change the volume. So here whatever the change is happened, internal energy change is there, energy change, whatever the energy change is there, that is at constant volume. Energy change at constant volume is called change in internal energy. Energy change at constant volume is called change in internal energy. Okay? See. Heat evolved during the reaction is transferred to the water around the bomb and its temperature is monitored. Since the bomb calorimeter is sealed, its volume does not change. That is, the energy changes associated with reactions are measured at constant volume. Under these conditions, no work is done. Under these conditions, no work is done as the reaction is carried out at constant volume in the bomb calorimeter. So work is not done. This is completely change take place at constant volume. Okay, ma? In the bomb calorimeter. Even for reactions involving gases, there is no work done as delta V is equal to 0. Delta V is equal to 0 is nothing but P delta V is equal to 0. Delta V is equal to 0 is nothing but P delta V is equal to 0. Work done is equal to 0. Temperature change of the calorimeter produced by the completed reaction is then converted to QV by using the known capacity of the calorimeter